Hello everybody, this is Leroy, and welcome back to another episode of Redstone Madness, the series where I show you guys my favorite redstone creation of the week. Alright, so today I have with me a concept by DicoTheRedstoner, link to his video in the description, but he has come up with a lossless sugarcane farm. That means all of the sugarcane that is harvested will be picked up. So the problem with a normal sugarcane farm is that whenever you harvest your sugarcane, normally the items can fall onto the block below or anywhere other than your item collection system. So with this machine, you can actually pick up every item. And how this works is a mechanic with minecarts. When you place a minecart onto the powered rail here, you can actually, if you get right underneath it, highlight the hitbox of the rail and place more than one minecart in the same spot. I recommend 5 because that is the most stable number I have found. And what you can see is this railway doesn't lead anywhere. So why is all of this set up? Well, actually, with all the minecarts in the same space, they don't lose velocity, although I suppose sometimes they do this. What I'm demonstrating here is the fact that minecarts don't lose velocity if they're stacked on top of each other like this. So however fast they get propelled by the powered rails is how fast they will continue to go. Now, these are just a few examples of the surfaces that they can ride on. In certain circumstances, they can even skip blocks, like right here and right here. They can ride on top of carpets and rails, and even on the side, well, on top of ladders and trapdoors. This is also an empty air block. And then it'll even pass through water or running water it's just not affected by anything. So, the only thing that does affect these minecarts is a collision with an entity outside of where it's headed. So if I were to run into these minecarts, they are going to fall, they're going to get diverted and split up and fall off of the track. So with this concept, we can actually we can stack minecarts on top of each other back here, and if I can grab a sugarcane, the way that I have my farm set up is to trigger on a bud switch. So when this sugarcane plant grows 3 tall, it activates this bud switch, crushes all the sugarcane, and then the minecarts come by and pick up all the sugarcane. However, there was an update with creative mode, I think it is, where I guess they got rid of entities, or as many entities as possible. You used to have a problem where if you had a block with some redstone dust on top of it, and then you break the block but not the dust would turn back into an entity and fall like an item. Well, that no longer happens, and apparently that no longer happens with sugarcane either. I'm sure this is just something they added into creative worlds to help stop lag in a bunch of different machines, but this is how it works. The concept is quite simple. You have a sugarcane farm with your water channels on either side. These back 2 rails are always powered by torches, and then I've got 5 hopper mine carts on each of these powered rails that are currently unpowered. They are sitting on top of hoppers pointing into this chest, and we can see that when I power the mine carts, they ride straight through the sugarcane and then come right back, and if they pick anything up, they'll throw it right into the chest from the hoppers. And we can see that if I just throw some items onto the track for them. Fat fingering the keyboard here. Alright, so give it a go, and you'll see that it picks up all of the sugarcane, brings it back to these hoppers, and I had these 4 stacks in there earlier, but it brings everything right back to the hopper. So, from this base, we actually just want to build up a couple walls on the side with 2 high pistons all the way back. That's our step 2 to building this. You just take this farm and then add a couple walls. Then from there, we want to add some redstone circuitry. Basically, you're just going to have a ring around the outside and this little bit down here, so you connect. The way I've got this set up is I'm going to have a bud switch right here, and I'll show you how to build that in a second. You've got your bud switch here, and that'll activate these 2 redstone lines. And from there, these lines run across the top of these pistons. The blocks here power the top piston directly, and then they power the bottom pistons diagonally, so it's a bud switch powering. But since the top pistons are extending, that automatically updates the bottom pistons, and they extend as well. Same thing with retraction, so you see that just runs all the way to the end. I've got 15 pistons in a row, so the redstone signal length is not a problem. And then on the end of this side, I've got another repeater, and that just brings it down to the mine carts. This repeater is set to 2 ticks, and from there, that'll just send the mine carts to pick up any of the sugarcane. So to test it out, you've got something that looks a bit like that. I think I had a little bit of lag, that those pistons seemed to take a while to retract again, but that's basically how that works. Now, in order to make the farm work on its own, you can add a bud switch in the back here, and the way I have that done is I've got a simple bud switch set up where it's just a sticky piston with a redstone block. 2 blocks away from that, so there's an air block here. Then you're going to put a repeater with 1 tick facing into this block. On top of that block, you put redstone dust, and then a block next to that on top of the repeater. Do not put redstone dust on top of here. You don't want those lines connecting. You want to put a redstone torch here, and then put that into 3 blocks. And the way this piston is receiving power is from this block here, which is being powered by the torch and the redstone. And that, believe it or not, is actually powering the piston, but the piston hasn't recognized that it needs to be extended. So once a block next to it updates it, it'll extend, and then the redstone block will turn off this torch and it'll retract. So that's how we trigger the mechanism, and then we can take our outputs from the redstone block when it's extended. So that same design is implemented over here in the back left corner, and you just, when the sugarcane grows to the very top part, actually I don't know if I just messed anything up there, it looks like that was not a problem, but once it grows all the way to the top, it will trigger the whole thing to activate and send the mine carts, and you will be picking up your sugarcane at the bottom. One thing that I would like to note about this machine is because you have so many minecart hoppers stacked on top of each other, you will want to cover these corners right here that I'm breaking, because the hitbox of these minecarts are actually sticking through the corner here. So I'm going to demonstrate this as something you don't want to happen. If you walk up to this corner, it'll actually throw your minecarts off the track, and that's no good. So be sure to cover those corners, all four corners actually. You can see I've got them covered over here as well. And that should do it. That is a 100% lossless automatic sugarcane farm. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this third episode of Restone Madness. Be sure to leave a like on the video, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.